So welcome to Your Network Equals Your Net Worth, how to create great relationships for multi-level marketing professionals. This is hosted by myself, Laura Morrison of the GameChanger Consultancy, and Chelle Clarke, who's an established network marketing professional who has agreed to join today's call and share some of her tips on how to build effective networks. So, Chelle, do you want to just introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Chelle. I've been in network marketing for just over 2 years now, and I do things slightly different to the typical professional. I believe that this industry allows anyone to run their business how they want to. So I have a couple of businesses that I run, and I have teams on each of them. Some of my girls go across the teams, and some just stick to one. I've got a team of over 50 girls, and that grows day in, day out. I'm a busy mum of two, both are toddlers, so I do have my hands full. And I've come from a background of corporate sales and account management, so I'm used to hustle and bustle. I'm used to dealing with different types of clients and customers, so that's where my skill set comes from.
Wonderful. And about myself, my name's Laura Morrison. I am the founder of the GameChanger Consultancy. So I specialise in helping businesses create their strategies, leadership training, and management. So my background, similar to Chelle, I worked in IT, managing corporate household names, £100 million plus contracts, to now step out as I have a young family. I've got two daughters and a third on the way in December, and I now work with growing businesses, helping them to make their mark on the world. And I have a particular passion for working with women and a lot of people in network marketing, multi-level marketing in my network. And therefore, I do see that it is a business model that, when it's run the right way, can really open economic opportunities for women. So really keen to help support you in getting the most out of that and creating effective relationships. So what we'll cover today is how reputation is key. And one thing about reputation is it can be the making of you or the breaking of you. So things that you need to focus on are brand you and your reputation management. And Michelle knows all about networking and building this business. It can be really, really tough. Social media presents us with fantastic opportunities, but some of the shortcuts, some of the workarounds that people are going through, and some of the, if you like, bad etiquette on social media can have a really bad impact on reputation if it's not managed carefully. Social media is one of those things where good things can spread very quickly, and things that are also negative can spread very quickly, which is why it's a tool that's fantastic. It's fairly free, it's fairly low cost, but one to be used with care and with a little bit of intuition and knowledge. So brand you. What brand stands for really when it's your personal branding is the value that you bring, your authenticity, it's who you are, and it's your unique point of value. So there may be many, many, many people selling the particular products or services that you're selling through your business. There will be something about you that makes the way that you sell it and the people that you attract, your tribe, uniquely different to others in your team and others in your business. And the thing to think about is, when you're using social media, how do you want others to feel when they've engaged with you? Now, that can be on social media for some businesses where you're doing things like fairs, shows, that type of thing. Can be when you walk into a room. If you use networking, it's when you come up in conversation. And that's something to always hold at the forefront. You can market your business brand, but also be aware of your energy that goes into it and how you make your distribution, your network, your team, something that has your unique feel. And why is this important? Well, I always say to people, pick a brand or public figure. Now, 9 times out of 10, and particularly in this industry, the sorts of people that come up, it might be Robert Kiyosaki, it may be some of the other very well-known gurus, Tony Robbins, people like that. One that comes up most often when I'm working with business clients, though, is this chap. So Richard Branson, and a lot of people have a real clarity on what it is they believe that he stands for. It's about doing business in a slightly more rebellious way, injected with a bit of fun, a bit of humour. It's about taking traditional business models, traditional ways of service, and turning them on the head, really. So customer service seems to be something that's quite strongly at the heart of what Virgin do across their different brand portfolio. So it's instantly recognisable, and that's how you want to be in your presence across social media and in your network marketing business. So take that time to explore what makes you unique and valuable, and consider how you bring this into your personal brand. The reason I say this, and I've taught sales training to independent business owners as well as in corporate life now for many years, but prospective and existing clients need to identify and buy from the real and authentic you. And something I'll cover later is around the different styles of buyer using the DISC model. And what you will see from that is there's very distinct buying styles, and they will buy from different types of people. So I would also say, as you're building your teams, look for difference and diversity in your teams, because that's going to be the thing that's going to build you the strongest team and maximize your chances of success. So I'll hand over to Chelle now, because I think this is really where it comes to her area of expertise.
Okay, thank you. Well, basically, your reputation is everything. As Laura said, good things spread fast on Facebook, but bad things spread a hell of a lot faster. And within network marketing, there is a very tight-knit community where people help each other. People discuss who's doing well, who's making, should we say, faux pas. My Facebook wall, it can be, oh my God, I've just been tagged again by such and such a business. Congratulations to so-and-so who's just hit a promotion. So within the community, never mind customers, reputations are important. If people are looking to change a business and you've got a cracking reputation, people are going to recommend you. So whatever your business is, you need to make it personal to you. We all sell the same product. We all are in a similar industry. My speciality is the beauty industry. So I compete against a handful of other companies. So I have to make it me. I represent a product, I represent a business, but who am I and what can I do for that customer or that potential team member? They need to know who I am and what I stand for. They need to like the way I do business, and they also need to trust that I know what I'm doing and I also know about the products. Therefore, my recommendations and advice are solid and sound and not just plucked out of thin air. They believe that I know what I'm doing, therefore they believe in what I'm offering. If you're representing a business, you have to be the brand. So if you don't like wearing makeup, perhaps beauty isn't a good business. If you don't like ecological products, then perhaps one of the eco-friendly businesses isn't really for you. You have to be passionate about what you sell, and that comes through. If you're not passionate, people will know. And all the great things are simple. It can be, don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Keep it on the level of your customer base. But you also have to make sure you're true to yourself. So what value do you add to everything that you do? That's what you need to focus on and see where you can stand out from the hundreds or thousands of other representatives within your business and your industry.
So I would say with that, I mean, there's particular things that you see within Facebook and particularly within the communities, and some people connect very well because what they are doing is they're connecting authentically. There's something about, they might have a particular strength with listening or with caring about other people and about their customers, and you see that reflected in their comments, in the way that they post. They nurture those relationships. So, one exercise that's worth doing is to think about 5 things that your friends and family would maybe say to describe you, how you come across to people. And if you don't know, what I would say is always ask, because this might be a hidden talent, which I'll cover later, that you can bring into your business, bring into your personal marketing and brand positioning. So what I would say is be memorable for the right reasons, be recognised, be congruent, and be yourself. You can't pretend on social media to be somebody that you're not. You will be found out very, very quickly. So make sure, as Chelle's saying, that you are in a business that does align with you as well. So Chelle, back over to you on reputation management, because you have some fantastic points on this.
This, I would say, is probably the biggest area of being successful on social media. Word travels so fast, and the last thing you want to do is be outed as a poor business owner, as lazy. There's so many different reasons that you could potentially be outed, and social media keeps a history of everything you say and do. So if you say one thing on Tuesday and then completely contradict yourself on Thursday, someone will pick up on that. You have people who will be on your friends list and they will never comment or never like or never share a post. However, they read and they watch, and some of them are actually sat there waiting for you to trip yourself up, and they will be the first ones to comment and question. So you need to remember that. That's why we say be true to yourself. When introducing yourself to a new contact, please just start with light-hearted chit-chat. Get to know the person you're speaking to. How can you recommend a product if you don't know them? How can you recommend the product in a style that suits them if you don't know anything about them? You need to be approachable. That person needs to tell you what it is they need. So if, in my instance, if a lady's got really bad stretch marks or a C-section scar, or she's suffered with acne in her teenage years and she's got really bad scarring on her face, she needs to feel like she can approach you on that subject, and you're not going to mock her, you're not going to put her down, that you're going to be a sympathetic ear and be able to help and offer a solution. Which is why you shouldn't pretend to be something you're not. If you pretend that you're some absolute gorgeous glamazon and then people see a picture that someone's taken and tagged of you, then, and you're nowhere near what you make out to be, then that damages your reputation. Equally, your personality has to be true. It's essential that you know your business and you know your products. You need to know your returns policy, you need to know where your company stands on animal testing, eco footprints. You need to know the ins and outs of that business, because if you're questioned on it, you need to give an accurate answer. Now, there is no harm in saying, do you know what, nobody's ever asked me that before, I'm going to go and check, I'll come back to you. That is the perfect answer if you don't know what you're talking about on that particular subject. Because if you lie and then they find out different, again, it brings it back to damaging your reputation. And we don't sell a product on the product. We sell it on the strengths of the product and the benefit to the customer. I could sell a wrap kit and I could say, you'll lose inches. Well, yeah, that's what happens, but what benefit does it have to Jane Smith? Well, Jane Smith has suffered with an overhang from a C-section that she had 15 years ago, and she's tried absolutely everything, and nothing is working. but by using the wraps, it will help tighten and tone her skin, and it will hopefully reduce that area, meaning that the overhang is smaller. And over time and continued use of the product, that will reduce. Nothing will ever cure it, only surgery. However, the benefit to Jane Smith is we can reduce it to as smaller overhang as possible, giving her confidence back. That's how you sell, not this is the kit, this is how much it is, buy now. Nobody will buy from you like that.
Yeah, I think just on that point as well, strengths and benefits is really important. Actually, one of the things with UK competition law, people are not allowed to down talk their competitors. So that is a really important point on the strengths and benefits. The other thing is also to be very, very careful where it comes to using client testimonials in your business. You know, you can't promise miracle results. You do have to be very realistic. You have to look at, you know, this case study that Chelle's just talked about. Somebody like that is taking the step of investing in themselves. It's that and a combination of different factors which will help them achieve the results, and your products support that. You have to be very, very careful. Claims of cures, things like that, is going to contravene the Advertising Standards Authority, and whilst they are not a legislative body, they do have quite a bit of influence with trading standards. So it's just being mindful of that. And as Chelle says, no harm. If you don't know the answer to a question, please just say you don't know and that you'll get back to the client and check. I have seen, and obviously not naming any names or any particular brands, but situations where people have asked about ingredients in products, suitability for use in pregnancy, and somebody said that something's okay that absolutely isn't, and is not something that somebody in pregnancy would be able to use because of the risks associated. So, you know, you have to be really, really careful. If you're not qualified to give the advice, you know, go and seek the advice of somebody who is. So, for example, if you use botanicals in your business, there will be people within your business that have the appropriate knowledge and certification to give the guidance on a particular question, rather than guessing it yourself and trying to make a sale anyway.
Yeah, just picking up on that, I've talked myself out of sales, but I've effectively told people, no, I'm not selling this product to you because after speaking to you, it's not suitable for X, Y, Z. Some people, if they ask about a particular medical condition, now, while we as a business know that it's okay, because we've looked into it, we're still not medically trained, so it's always go and speak to your doctor. I can give you the information to take to your doctor, and a doctor who's medically trained can give you the yes or no. And if somebody comes back to me and says, well, we can't, you know, the doctor wasn't too sure, or whatever it may be, I'll say, well, in that case, I'm not going to say anything more. It's entirely your choice. You know, I'd rather not have that sale than have a phone call, or worst case scenario, trading standards turning up on my door saying you've recommended and advised this product and poor Mrs. Smith has had a reaction to it, is now in hospital. I'm too ethically grounded to go down that route. I'm not out for all-out sales. I'm not out for all-out money. I'm out for having the perfect business of reputation, sales, longevity. And if you go for just sales and you trample on anyone and everyone, you're never going to be there in 10, 15 years' time.
I think the other thing as well is when you do that, actually that can work in your favour from the trust perspective that we're talking about. If a client is trusting you with guidance on something that is a sensitive issue or a health-related issue, and there are good reasons to turn them down or steer them towards an alternative product, you know, they remember that, they respect that, and that's how you do build a good and strong reputation. So on creating relationships, as Chelle's already covered, people buy from people. Before they buy the product or opportunity, they've got to know you, they've got to like you, and they have to trust you. Otherwise, the relationship is not going to be one that's fruitful. It's going to take energy, and it's not going to be the best experience for all concerned. So this is cultivated by being authentic, by modeling positive behavior in your interactions, to look at assertive behavior, not non-assertive or passive behavior. When I say non-assertive behavior, actually, you'll see when we come to that, sometimes that gets into the borderline of aggressive behavior, which, we've all seen it on social media in the various communities, and it's not where people want to be. So just have a reflect on non-assertive behavior. So when somebody is passive, they're putting the needs of others before their own needs, and they're selling perhaps from a place of feeling inferior, perhaps a place of desperation. They're avoiding conflict and confrontation, and that can lead to clients seeing you as weak or ineffectual. That can sometimes be a problem where there's been past issues, or it can lead to resentment, anger, and low self-esteem. So again, try and avoid being passive, try and avoid always being on. I know it takes hard work to build a business, and particularly if you're doing that around your family commitments. However, don't become so needy that you drop everything and put things second in the pursuit of getting your sales. It will be seen as passive, it will be picked up on, and where you want to be selling from is from a place of strength, from a place of empowerment. Aggressive behavior, again, both of these are rooted in people coming from a place of fear, but aggressive behavior can come across as being pushy and inappropriate. It can be people who offend the rights and feelings of others. So sometimes one of the things that I've seen in communities is where people are tagging or posting on other people's walls. Somebody challenges them and they get really quite aggressive. Oh, well, if you don't like it, la, 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 la. Well, actually, no. The way I analogize Facebook is you're going onto somebody's page. If somebody's accepted a friend request from you, it's almost like them inviting you into their living room. I don't know about you, but I kind of almost see my email and my Facebook. It's sort of a private space. I'll show people what I want to show there, but they are stepping into my space when they're tagging things on my wall or participating in communities that are built. Aggressive behaviour is often driven by a need to compete or prove. And I know sometimes this can be something that comes out with the way that reward systems work within the industry. Try and work from a place of celebrating the success of others and from an abundant mindset where there's enough of everything to go round, rather than a need to compete or prove or be better than other people. Try and stay away from having a sense of entitlement, and often aggression can happen because of poor communication, which is often not intentional or realised. So when that does happen to you, if you're on the receiving end of it, I would say the best thing to do is, first couple of times, put it down to experience and try and be forgiving and compassionate. And, aggression does lead to these people, they will sink in a network marketing, a relationship marketing industry, because it leads to a difficulty in maintaining and getting the best results from relationships, which is obviously the name of the game here. So I'm just going to hand back over to Chelle, who's just going to share her experience with you.
Okay, so this literally was the other day. Like I said to you before, I have several businesses and people know me and respect me for that, even though it goes against the industry standard. Because of how I run my businesses, I see it as I am the business, and I recommend various products that I believe in, that I've tried, that I've used, that I think are of benefit to people. So I've worked it so it suits me and it gives me the reputation and the storefront that I want for me. Now, I never expect people to remember every single business that I do, or everything that I've looked at, or the businesses that I've recommended. So when I do get tagged, and it's tagged for a good reason, I always get this little sense of bubbling pride, like, oh wow, they've remembered down. or they remembered that I do such and such a business. And even more so when it comes from people that you don't have such a close relationship with. I was tagged on a post in UK Mums, which has got 18,000 members. I've been an admin member for 12 months now. So people do know who I am within that group. And I was out shopping, came home, looked at my phone, checked my notifications, and I had 3 tags on this one post where somebody was looking for a particular business that I do. Now, 1 tag is great. 2 tags is unbelievable, and 3 just blew it out of the water for me, because all 3 people were people that I've connected with, but in all honesty haven't been as connected as perhaps I should have been. But they've been watching what I do, they've remembered, and they appreciate how I work and were happy to put their name on that status saying, speak to this person. Now, for reference, the person has now joined my team. So that was wonderful. You won't always win them. It's not a battle, but just because you're tagged once, twice, 10 times, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is going to choose you. There has to be a connection from you to them, whether it's as a recruit or as a customer. And unfortunately for us guys, there's nothing we can do about that to persuade them. We be our true selves, we give out the information we need to give out, and it's then up to them. Now, this is a huge indicator that you're on the right path. If people are tagging you for good reasons and mentioning your name for good reasons, or coming to you for advice, coming to you about products that you've advertised, then you're creating your following that are loving what you're doing. Sometimes people will comment on a status and say, do you know what, I love this. They may not have commented for the last 6 months, but it's just a little reminder that they're there watching. So if you haven't spoken to someone for a while, drop them a quick message or comment on a status, like a photo. It doesn't matter what it is. It can take 2 seconds of your time. But if they're watching you, it's always nice to reciprocate and build that relationship further. And these days, people don't recommend people that freely. They'll happily get on their soapbox and shout it from the rooftops when they've had bad service or a negative experience. But when they've had that good experience and it motivates them to recommend you, you need to nurture that relationship that you have built. You need to cultivate it so it's a close relationship. They may not buy, they may not join, but having them recommending you is just as important as them actually buying your product.
Okay.
Now, this is a big bugbear of mine and Laura's. We were speaking about this earlier today. Please, 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 I beg you, don't tag people in your posts or add them to your business groups without their permission. It's the biggest turn-off. Speak to them first, get to know them, invite them to your group. Say, would you like to join my customer group? Or say you want to reach a new audience and you're at a bit of a brick wall. Pop a post on and say, would anyone mind me borrowing their profile? Just one post. I won't spam. All I want to do is pop one little post on, invite people to my group. I'm just trying to broaden my horizons. You will get people saying, yes, use mine, yes, use mine. Some will actually say to you, use mine whenever you like. Because you've asked and you've been considerate, people are much more obliging and willing to help. If you just tag people, you will get, don't tag me in your post, I'm not your advertising board. You're lazy, that's not the way to do business. Worst case, they'll actually copy and paste your tag and put it as a status and say, oh my God, have you seen this? This is so lazy. So just bear in mind how you would like to be treated if you were on the opposite foot. So tagging and adding without permission could get you blocked, which is pretty much 7 out of 10 people will just block you. And I'd say 3 of those, roughly, will probably report you for spam. Now with Facebook, the more reports that you get, the more that you're going to end up in Facebook jail. Now, if your business is entirely built on social media, then you're in trouble, because what Facebook jail means is you can't post in groups, you can't reply to comments on statuses, you can't join groups, you literally can post a status and send a private message, and that's about it. They are indiscriminate as to how long it can be. They could say you're in jail for 2 weeks, and 4 weeks later you're still waiting. So this is where your reputation comes in. If you have a great solid reputation, people aren't going to be reporting you as a spammer, so you're going to avoid Facebook jail, which means you're not going to have to suffer the consequences. But on that note, I would always recommend backing everything up that you do. Don't rely 100% on social media. Have these contacts and connections away from social media. So remember to build your list, which is your email list or people at your phone, and have a good chinwag with. Don't leave it all to one platform. And don't, when you're messaging these people that you're speaking to, don't lead with your business. My big bugbear is, hi, thanks for accepting me. I work with a da-da-da, and our products are absolutely fantastic because they will do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Would you like more information? No. And at one point, I would reply back saying, no, I'm not interested in that business. I've already got one, thank you. And I'd be like, do you know what? They're not the type of people that I want to network with. I don't respond well to that. And then it was something someone said to me, and I thought, hang on a minute. No, I can help these people and perhaps help them find a better way, a more responsive way. So now when I get these messages, even though I'm not interested in the slightest, I will say, no, I'm not interested, thanks very much. How's business going? Or how's it going for you? Or I've used that product, but no, I don't want to buy it at the minute. And I'd open up the conversation, and pretty much everyone then changes tact. It becomes a get to know you. They want to know about you. They want to know what I do just as much as I want to know about them. And sometimes people can reveal that they haven't got a clue where to start. They've just joined the business, or their upline has told them to do this and they really don't know why. So sometimes I can help people. They're not joining my team, they're not buying from me, but I can give them a little bit of advice that can change their business for them. And then that relationship means that if they know somebody who's looking for a product I sell, they're going to recommend me over somebody else. If they're looking to change business at some point in the future, I've got a higher standing than my compatriots because I've took time to help them even though it was no benefit to me. And don't oversell products. Like Laura said before, we can't make miracle claims. We can't say it's going to cure X, Y, and Z. We have to be careful as to what we say, medical and legally. But if I say this product's going to get rid of your stretch marks within 2 days, well, no, I know it's not. So 2 days later, they're going to come back to me and say, that hasn't worked. But if I say this product is great for minimising stretch marks because it does this, that, the other, and some of our clients have seen results within 2 weeks, some have seen them within a month. I'm being realistic, I'm not building up their expectations. So if they see a difference after 3 days, they come back to me and they go, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. I've only used it 3 times and I've seen such a huge difference. They're beaming, they're going to go out and sing my praises and the product's praises. But if I say it'll cure them within 3 days and 3 months later they've still got them, then they're going to say, oh, don't buy that, it's absolutely rubbish, or don't go to her, she doesn't know what she's on about. And that brings us to our next point, don't lie, you will be found out. Social media, once you put something on there, it's there. Even when you think you've deleted a status, as it says, this still may be found on news feeds. So just because you've posted it and you've deleted it doesn't mean it's gone from cyberspace. So somebody could catch you out on a lie. And I don't mean just about your product or your business, but about you. So if you claim to be this person and then you come out with an absolute tirade and you've already said, oh, you know, I don't do negativity, I don't do this, don't do that, then it chips away at your reputation that you're working so hard to build. Again, we've already said this about 3 times, don't give medical or cure advice. Please, please, please. It's just as important as don't tag people, because it's you that will end up in hot water, and that's the last thing that we want for you or anyone else. And while we're here, one other thing that I think is worthwhile mentioning, it's negativity is detrimental to your business. So when I see network marketers who post, oh my God, my ex has done this, my ex has done that, or my boyfriend or girlfriend said this, that, the other, or I've seen this girl and she's terrible, then that paints an impression on people's minds as to who you are. So remember, what you're putting out there is effectively business. So you don't want to be seen as that type of person. You want to be seen as a positive, go-getting type of person that doesn't have a bad bone in their body. Now, obviously, if you do have a bad bone in your body, then you have to rein it in. But you would do that with any type of business. Moving on, don't poach. This is, well, it's a fundamental, really. There is people who are promotion hungry, number hungry, money hungry. And a customer or lead will choose who they want. They have to have a connection. There has to be a rapport, and there has to be a reason that they want to buy from that person. Unfortunately, there are people out there who will try and persuade them to choose them. It's tacky, it's desperate, it's not how you want to be perceived. And especially on public threads, it gives a negative impression of the brand, not just your business, the brand. So if, I'm not going to name a business because it's not fair, but say Joe Blogs International gets a reputation for spamming or poaching or bitching or whatever it may be, that has an effect to everybody. So even though you're protecting yourself, you want to remember that what you all do together keeps you all moving forward in the right direction. And the better the impression of the brand, the better your business will do. Okay, we've got the next point, which is don't sell to people. We've already touched on this. It's not about sell, sell, sell. It's about engaging in your customer base and finding what product you have or what service you have that could benefit them and why. And 9 times out of 10, especially us Brits, we don't like a direct sales approach. Offers the solutions, find a benefit. If you're listening to what your customer base are telling you, you will be able to match a product and a benefit to a particular customer. For example, somebody posts on their status saying, oh, do you know what, I tried my jeans on and they didn't fit, or I'm going to a big Christmas ball and I really want to get into a new dress. Well, you could go buy my diet product or buy my wrap product. And they think, well, does that person really think I need it? But if you speak to them and you find out why they're worried about fitting into their dress, it may just be a little confidence boost that they need. And you can provide that. You haven't sold to them, but you're building the relationship. So when you've made your new connections, again, don't automatically add them to groups. Laura has wonderfully worked out these figures. And even if you use the argument of, well, if they don't like it, they can just leave, look at those figures. It takes 2 minutes to work out how to leave. Go into the group, figure it out, click the buttons. If you've added 600 people and all those 600 people leave that group, then that's 1,200 minutes of their time that's going to have a negative effect, because then they'll start saying, oh, she keeps adding me to groups. I seen a status yesterday where it said, please, please, please stop adding me to groups. I've been added and left the same group 5 times this week. We're only on Tuesday. 10 minutes of her time and now a status. So again, remember what relationships you're wanting to build. If you don't care about relationships, then go ahead and do all these things. But if you're here, then you do care about your relationship. So what might save you time can cost you so dearly in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I have seen a lot of these comments, oh, well, just leave. And typically, I don't want to generalise, but it comes from people that are younger, and a lot of the people that they're adding to the groups are older people who are not as au fait with finding their way around Facebook. And to be honest, they struggle. Yes, we all know there's a prevent this person from adding me to groups again when you've been added to a group. We know that. A lot of people don't. And they do consider it a bit of an invasion of privacy. As I say, treat Facebook when you're connecting with people, treat it like you're being invited into their living room.
Definitely. Okay, so we've talked about when people are posting statuses and they're asking for information on a business or information on a product. Now, we're so eager and keen to get our business and our product out there, but please read through the previous comments. It may take a minute, it may take 5 minutes, but it will work so much in your favour. Only post what is appropriate. So if there's already 6 people who've posted from your business, either don't post at all or back them up and say, do you know what, I work with such and I agree such and such a product is great, or I agree this business is wonderful. Go and speak to and name the first person who commented. Now what that'll do is it will raise your profile within your own community, and it will also raise the profile of the brand. And who knows, in a roundabout way, that person asking that question might think, do you know what, that person is different. They're not out for the sale, they're in this for the right reasons. I'm going to go and have a chat to them as well. So even though you might have been the 6th or 7th person, you may still get interaction from how you conduct yourself. But I can guarantee if you just do a copy and paste job and it doesn't look original, you will get no interaction whatsoever. And if you're challenged publicly or privately, don't jump into a negative spat. Don't get all defensive and aggressive. Or also a huge key point, whether you're writing an email, a newsletter, a text, a status, anything written can always be taken the wrong way. So my personality and the way I speak, I could write something and to me it's light-hearted, bit of tongue-in-cheek, maybe a bit of sarcastic. To Jane Smith reading it, they go, oh my word. And it comes across completely different to them. And they think I'm being aggressive, rude, obnoxious, disgusting. So always check what you're writing and read it from a perspective of somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know how you've intended it to be written. You obviously can't see facial expressions and hand gestures. I mean, you can't see my webcam at the moment because obviously we've got the slides up, but my hands and face are going left, right and centre. But if I was writing this down, you wouldn't be able to see the animation or hear the inflections in my tone. So written word can be taken completely in the wrong context. So this is another point as to why not to be too defensive. Explain your point, make it clear, make it concise. Don't get involved in name calling, he said, she said, they said. State your point, because running away can be seen just as bad as being aggressive or defensive. Thank them for their comment. Say, I appreciate what you're saying, however, I see it as, and even if you've read it back 10 times and you think, I can't figure out a way to word that there's going to be no confusion as to my intentions, start it off by saying, look, this isn't going to come across the way I intend it. Be open, be honest. Leave no room for miscommunication. If somebody starts a sentence with, I don't quite know how to word this without it sounding rude, then those people reading it can bear that in mind. But if you just jump straight in rude, then that's what people are going to think. There's been many instances where not only have these negative spats made the business and the brand look unprofessional, but in a lot of instances it's been reported to company's head office. I have actually reported somebody to their company's head office. Now, it takes a lot to push me there, an awful lot. But this person was representing their brand, and their behaviour and attitude towards women, it was a man, by the way, in this case, was so absolutely disgusting. And as a community leader, as one of the admin team on UK Mums, I felt I had no choice, because I didn't want that person being in our industry with free rein, because not only was he giving his business a bad name, but he was giving the industry a bad name. And we face challenges every day of it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme, it's all rubbish, it's all tat. So the last thing that we need is extra criticism and negativity within the industry. This person, quite rightly so, had, just to give you a bit of information, had threatened to knock a few women's lights out because they disagreed with his point of view. So obviously I screenshotted it and sent it to the head of their customer services, and they took a very strict view on it, and that person lost their ability to represent that business, which is why I don't take it lightly, because I know the consequences. But there are times and places where each and every single one of you on this call is probably going to have to do that at some point in the future. And when you do it knowing that it could effectively be the reverse if you're not careful on how you represent yourself. And always allow the products and the professionalism of the brand to speak for themselves. Don't overhype. Like we said before, under-promise, over-deliver. So if you stay true to yourself, true to the brand and true to the product, you're heading in the right direction. You're going to get a cracking reputation, and you're also going to have people referring your name onto other people. Their friends are going to come to you and say, I know so-and-so, and they've sent me in your direction. And that's because you're allowing what you're selling to sell itself. You're not having to over-promote it. All you're doing is promoting yourself as the ambassador, the representative, the presenter. We've all got different titles. So just bear that in mind, and always think, if I was the customer, or if I was reading this or seeing this, what would it make me feel? And if it makes you cringe, if it makes you shudder, if it makes you think, oh my word, don't do it. You're your own biggest critic in life. You criticise the clothes that you wear, you call yourself names for eating that extra cookie, for being overweight. You're your biggest critic. So remember that when you're in business, you need to effectively censor yourself.
Okay, so let's get on to the do's of social media network.
You see, we focused on the negative so much because the negative can wipe you out within seconds. If you get the do's spot on, it will last you a lifetime. So like we've just said, allow the products and the brand to speak for itself. You're the representative. So be the brand. If your brand is an empowering brand, be empowering. If your brand is an ecological brand, then you yourself have to be ecological. You can't sit there and say, find my ecological washing powder, and we've got a low carbon footprint, and we plant trees, and then put a picture on Facebook saying, oh my God, look, I've just bought a 4-litre Jeep. You know, you have to you have to be sensible about these things. If you're a jet setter, then perhaps obviously you're going to have a high carbon footprint, and you'd be best suited within the travel side. If you don't wear makeup, you might find it hard to promote a makeup brand. So pick your niche and work it well. Now, when it comes to your profile, a lot of us use our profile because our posts get out there. We all know about business pages, having the algorithms, and Facebook trying to push us into paying for adverts. So we use our our Facebook profile. However, too many posts can become noise. If you're sell, and every post is buy this, look at this, wow this, it becomes noise. People see your name, they scroll straight past. But equally, too many unrelated posts can confuse people. If you don't post at all about how business is wonderful for you, whether it's, oh my God, I've just gone out and paid a deposit on my car, or I've just paid for the holiday for next year and we're going to Orlando and we're taking the kids. If people can't see how business is involved in your life and it's all negativity or it's all randomness, and then you suddenly pop a post in about buy this product or join my business, people go, huh? I didn't realise she was in business. So you need to find a good balance, and that's the same for profiles, for pages and for groups. It can't all be sales and it can't all be general chit-chat. Again, we need to know our products inside out. There are going to be questions where it's going to stump us, like we've already said. Either hold off replying altogether, or my preferred approach is to say, you've got me. Go, I'm just going to find that answer, and then come back to them within a timely manner and give them the correct answer. If it's a question that's going to take you 2 days to find the answer out, then say that to them. Give them a good idea as to an expectation of when to get the answer, and follow up either before or on that deadline. And if you still need longer, still go back to them and say, look, I'm really sorry, I'm still waiting for that information to come through, but I just wanted to let you know I haven't forgotten. That good reputation will bring you business. If you lie and you're found out, it will send business running from you. So knowing your products, or having the conscience to admit you've got me on that, that is better than lying. So like we've said, good reputations will bring you business, but bad ones, whoa, they will send people running and they will scream about it along the way. So you need to be helpful, you need to be friendly, and you need to be authentic. Like we already touched earlier, don't pretend to be someone you're not. You need to be true to yourself. You also need to be consistent. So if you're posting 3-4 times a day, and then all of a sudden nothing for 2 weeks, and then you come back and you start posting 3-4 times a day and it's all salesy, people will be like, well, what's she been for the last 2 weeks? So even when people go on holiday, you'll still see them putting the odd posts on. Now obviously on pages we can pre-schedule them, but even on the Facebook profiles they'll say, oh right, I'm going on holiday for the next week and a half, so I'm not going to be online much. If you need me, just send me a private message so I don't miss your message. And then once every couple of days they'll go, oh my God, holiday's fantastic. They won't be online all day, but they're just reminding people that they're still about, that even though they're off on their jollies, that they're still thinking of their customers. So you have to show up, you have to answer your questions, and you always have to look as to how you can add value to that particular situation. So if you can't add any value, then really I'd suggest don't get involved in that situation, particularly if you're just repeating what somebody else has said, or you're just going to do a copy and paste job. Always take the time to be personal with people, whether it's a client or a potential recruit, and that will last. That'll give a lasting impression, so much so that people could come to you 6-12 months down the line after one small encounter and say, you're the one who does X, Y, and Z. Have you got that link? Or I remembered you promoted such and such a product a while ago. Can you give me a bit more information on that? So always keep in mind, they may not be a customer or client now, but it doesn't mean they won't be in the future. Okay, so very quickly, mix of posts. Like I said, don't be all one or the other. I generally work on this conversion rate, and it's doing me quite well. 60% business. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean products. It could be congratulating team members, new team members. It can be talking about something that's coming up within the business, like a new product, new packaging, a new incentive, obviously the products themselves. You want to have a good mix of fun posts. Now this is a great way to engage people, to see who's sat watching your profile. So something like a joke, something along the lines of, what do you call this? Anyone who's on the call tonight is welcome to pop along to my profile and have a look at the type of posts that I mean. And I also do them on my business pages as well. You're getting people to join in, you're finding out little bits of information about them, whether it be where they are, what they call the end of the bread. Now, me personally, I call it a crust, but I've had doorstop, enders, I've had them all. But that opened up people into conversation, and I've then found that they're more likely to comment on other posts. So we're building that relationship in a nice, gentle way, and some of those people have then gone on to join my business or bought from me. And lifestyle. Now this is slightly business related, and I did touch on this on the previous slide. We need to show what the business is doing for us. So it's all very well and good saying, oh my God, I got paid £1,000 commission last month. And people go, yeah, yeah. Or the worst is when people pose with a wad of money and say, oh, look at this. It's so cheesy, it's so tacky. But a great way of promoting how life is wonderful because of the business is by saying, oh, I've just been out and spoiled the kids, or it's commission day, so wonder what I can go and treat the kids to, or thanks very much, in my case, Actidem, just gone and got my hair done. So you're sort of dropping it in, but in a not so overpowering way. And that mix is for me a great mix. But on a personal profile, you have to be a little bit more careful. As Laura points out, only about 20% should be directly business related. So that's your product posts or your join me posts, because Facebook don't like you using your personal profile for business. And that, again, can be another ticking off session in Facebook jail. So if you're clever about it and you drop it in like, oh, just going to go shopping and the weather's absolutely glorious, so I've gone for my 3D corrector today, that's fine, because you're not overly and obnoxiously promoting the product. You're dropping it in so people who know what you do will twig, but you're not setting alarm bells off for Facebook because you've just posted a buy me, buy me, buy me and a link to your website. Just keep it in mind that you have to strike a good balance, and if ever you're unsure, get a fresh eyes look. I'm more than happy to do it for anyone. Tag me in a status, say, hey Chelle, can you give me some help? Send me a private message, comment on my business page, whatever it may be. I'm happy to help and take a fresh eyes look at anyone's profile and give you a few pointers as to, right, maybe mix in a bit of this, because I may see your profile completely different to how you think it looks, and I may be able to tell you something that you're missing, or something that you're doing that could be tweaked and could have a better impact. And likewise, I get people to do it with mine as well. So it doesn't matter how long we've been in the industry or how much we think we know, there is still always someone who can give us advice, and we have to be willing to take it.
Yeah, and I think what I would just add to this, the 20% on being directly business related, that came in a couple of years ago when Facebook started to introduce paid advertising. There is an incentive for Facebook there on those restrictions, but one of the things they do is they remove profiles, or sometimes if it's deemed too businessy, what I've heard of happening certainly in the last couple of months is people with a high number of friends, people who are constantly posting about business, they log into Facebook one day, they find that their page has been converted. So what was their personal profile has become a business page. Now, one thing it is always worth doing is, if you are running groups, Make sure that you've got other people with access and administration rights and things like that, so that you don't lose things completely. I think Chelle made an excellent point a couple of slides ago, which is, one of the things that you should be seeking to do is also to build your contact details away from Facebook. Have alternative routes to contact the people that you do believe are viable prospects in your business. There are many, many different ways of doing that. Some of it is paid software, some of it is relatively free and low cost, things like MailChimp. But, make sure you've got a good idea of who and where your people are. Get to know your clients.
If my Facebook was to be shut down, I've got my customers, I've got my contacts away from Facebook, but even things like groups that you're prominent in, have a list, even if it's pen and paper, have a list of everything that's important to you on Facebook written down. So should anything happen, you're not absolutely stumped. You've got a backup plan, and you can power ahead with a new profile or a new tact. A friend of mine and a business partner, actually, she was falsely reported by somebody for being hacked, which unfortunately these things do happen, where you get jealousies and rivalries. However, she's used it to her advantage, and she's actively commented like, oh my God, yeah, I'm still in Facebook jail, but you know what, thanks very much. Because being in Facebook jail, she's gone, oh, wow. But she's took it and she's used it as a positive, and she's working her business in the ways that Facebook are currently allowing it to by private message. So she's messaging people that she's not spoken to previously, or only briefly spoken to, and saying, hi, just wanted to catch up with you. I couldn't comment on your status because I'm in Facebook jail, ha ha ha, how's things going? Or that cake looked delicious. And she's opening up conversations that way. So if you ever end up in Facebook jail, for whatever the reason may be, yes, it's a negative. Yes, you can allow it to ruin things. Or you can say, right, what can I do? And let's work with this. She put a status up saying, hi everyone, I can't comment on anyone's profiles or even comment on this status. I'm missing all our chats and our funny jokes. Send me a message with your phone number, and I'll give you a ring for a chat, because I've got an hour spare. And you know what? People actually did send her a message saying, oh, there's my number. So she rang and she had a chat. 2 days later, they were like, do you know what? We got on really well. I want to buy, or I want to join your team. So she didn't intentionally go at it from that perspective. She was looking at building relationships, and she built them that well that she came out the winner. And she openly thanked them 2 days ago on Facebook, saying, do you know what? I'm still in jail after 4 weeks, but you reporting me has been the best thing ever for my business. And she's used it to her advantage, because she's got the positive mentality. Instead of posting going, you're ruining whoever you are, you've ruined my business, I hope you rot in hell. And then they're sat there going, ha ha ha, wonderful. Whereas they're now sat there going, oh. So again, you can use a negative and build your reputation around it and turn it into a positive. You've just got to have the right frame of mind and go, okay, next.
Yeah, I would say, if anything like that ever happens to you, don't get sucked into the negative energy of it. The best way of moving forward is to get on with being successful. It really is. So I think we've got a little bit here on ethical sales and recruitment, Chelle. So do you just want to talk through this one as well?
Of course. It's easy to confuse enthusiasm and overstep that into pushy. Asking someone if they're ready to commit to a sale is okay. It may not be comfortable for everybody, but there's a difference between saying, oh, we were chatting the other day and you said give you a message in a few days, just catching up. Do you want to transfer the money? Or you said you were going to buy, hi, I'm here. There's enthusiasm and there's pushy. So I always say, make your customer feel wanted, feel not just but you know, you have to make them feel comfortable and not a number. So I always lead a conversation with, hi, how are you? How did you get on with whatever it may be that we were talking about? Or how's your week been, if there was no particular point of interest? And I'm enthusiastic about speaking to them, but I'm not pushy about getting them to commit to the sale, because me personally, if somebody pushes me into a sale, I generally go, no, you're okay, thanks very much. Or I'll just, you know, tune out because I feel like a number. So think about how you like to be sold to. What's your buying style? Do you need people to excite you? Do you need people to give it to you straight? This is what it does, this is how it works for you, this is what you'll get. Or do you like people to give you advice, make you feel comfortable, make you feel wanted? So just remember that not everybody likes to be sold to in the same way. And follow up. If somebody says to you, or give us a message in a few days, or I'll get paid on Friday. Now maybe you don't want to message them bang on Friday, because it can go against your style. But make sure you follow up with them, say on the Saturday, and say, hi Jane, how's your week been? Have you got anything nice planned for the weekend? So you're introducing yourself again, saying hello, and then you can say, oh yeah, just about to put an order through, did you want to order that? So you're still asking them a question. Obviously you want them to buy, but you're asking them, you're not telling them that you expect them to buy. And you probably get people who will say, oh yeah, here you go, or I've had people, and I've held my hands up to this, where I've forgotten to write it down, and then just in, you know, randomly in conversation weeks later they go, oh, I forgot to message you back about such and such, and think, oh, hang on, oh yeah, they did. Now if I'd have messaged them back and I'd have followed up when I should have done, I may have had their custom back then, or I may not have. But by following up the relationship, not just the sale, it's going to work well for you in the long run. If you don't follow up, then they could look elsewhere. They could be put off the brand. But again, don't just go straight in with the, are you ready to buy? Or I'm placing the order, can you transfer me the money? Please just be polite. And that will get you so much further by taking a conversational approach rather than pay me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So just to go on, just you might recognise yourself in some of these things. We've just got a short educational piece, and I'm really impressed with all of you that have managed to stick with it, because we're now just past the hour. But I thought it'd be helpful to share this, because it's definitions of different buying styles which are taken from disc profiling. So the first type of buying style is a decisive. So you can see clear picture in their mind of the results they want. They're very type A. They take action. They take buying decisions very quickly. They're very attentive if there's actions or communication to give results. So they're what we call our early adopters. You've got a new product, they want it. They offer top line and big picture concepts when they're looking for value. They are practical and efficient. They don't like chit chat. They like opportunities for change and progress. Not really into being swayed by emotional discussions or opinion. Probably less bothered about things like social proof as well. They tend to be kind of quite discerning and have a look at facts. They want to know black and white. They stick to the big picture. It's very transactional for them, and they like things to be quick and to the point, so they don't like having the time wasted. So thinking about your timing of when to approach these people is pretty important, you know, particularly if they have got busy lives. They like features and innovations, and with a sale with this type of individual, it's best to allow them to control the pace. And what I would say is, think about how you like to be sold to, because you may recognise yourself in this. You may see opportunities where you need to adapt your selling style from one dominant style to more inclusive styles that take care of the other needs and buying styles. So the interactive style doesn't like personal conflict. They're all about relationships. They like enthusiasm, expressiveness. They like to talk. They don't like to be aggressively closed on or pushed. And they like to kind of have things around them that improve their social standing, other people's perception. People's perception matters to them an awful lot. So probably good clients if you're in the beauty industry. They like to have fun, and you can see that with a lot of the campaigns that do come with some of the network marketing companies. They really do play on that sense. Accentuate the newness, the novelty factor, and they do like social proof. They like to be part of a tribe. These will be the ones that will love being added to your groups and won't say a word about it because they think it's fantastic. So if you give them opportunities to join communities, but only do that with the eyes. So this is, again, it goes back to that point about knowing your customer. Every time you connect with somebody, have a quick look at their profile, see what they do, see what their genuine interests are. I would say, I think, as Chelle said, when people email straight away, and it's sometimes people email me thinking, I want to join a network marketing business. I don't. I'm a business consultant. I'm a sales trainer, and it takes probably about 2 minutes of looking at my profile to see that that's where my heart is. But I will connect, and I'm always really, really happy to have a chat with people and to help people promote their businesses in a positive way or help them where they're stuck on strategy. Sales key, always listen twice as much as you talk with the interactive buyer. So I suppose really with interactive, just remember it's all about them. So the stabilizer is a more passive and introverted buyer. So these will be your people who don't like and who don't comment, and they're interested in detail and security. They like to avoid conflict and don't down talk others. So as we've said, if you're down talking others on your profile, these people will steer clear from you. They will not buy from you. They like things to be risk-free. They like things to be safe. If you do have guarantees or things like that, absolutely, that's what this person wants to hear. Be structured in your approach. They like step-by-step details. So they like to know, kind of that when something's going to happen, to have it managed. Give them lots of time to decide and don't pressure them. Make sure that you accentuate your support and commitment long term. So these are the ones you almost need to treat as if they're part of your family, particularly if you've got them in your team working with and for you as part of that team. Be sincere, be modest, be unassuming, and don't get personal too fast. These people like to build a relationship a little bit more slowly. So going straight into intimacy with people like this, and actually I know it's something that can be really, really common in the social media world. I've just read a post from friends who are professionals, but they've got a real bugbear about people who jump straight in with calling people hun or babe or love, things like that some of us just take for granted, particularly those of us with a northern disposition. Some people find that a little bit demeaning and offensive. So you just got to just gauge it. You'll know the people you can with, you'll know the people you can't with. Just think, where do they sit? Are they a D, an I, an S, or finally the last one is C, and that's a conscientious buying style. So another passive and introverted buyer. So your first two, the D and the I, they're quite out there, they're quite extrovert, they're a bit go, go, go. These guys, again, a little bit more safe, fastidious. They like data and accuracy. They'll like numbers. They'll want to see if they're thinking of investing in your business. They will want to know what the returns are going to be. They want to know what's in it for them. They look for the evidence and proof. They'll want to speak to their colleagues. So you look at how you connect to solving their issue and what they're approaching you for. They also like accurate typing. They don't like missed deadlines. So you've got to be accurate, reliable, and dependable. So there's a lot of things we have to be if we're going to hit and maximize sales. But thinking through these and having an understanding of these buying styles hopefully will give you ways that you can really look at the marketing and branding messages that you're putting out, the behaviours that you're signalling to give you the best chance. As with any customer, actually, I'd say avoid pointing out any mistakes they make. It damages the relationship. Be very organised and logical with these people. Be unemotional and establish trust through proof. So these sort of people like, testimonials, that sort of thing, to really get a sense of who you are. So what I would say about all of these buying styles, there's just a few golden rules to remember here. So what's common in nurturing relationships is just remember that people are sensitive. Handle them with care. Show appreciation and be respectful. And listen well and judge pace. There's an old sales saying, which is, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and it's in that proportion and balance for a reason. And remember, sales relationships require nurturing. It's very much like the seedling that there's a picture of there. You've got to nurture them. When they're strong, when they've grown roots, that's when you're going to get the yield from them, but they require nurturing in the beginning. They're fragile. And something I just want to share with you around your branding, and this might be something to go and have a look into for yourself. I really like this. It's a tool created by Sally Hogshead. I don't sell it, I don't promote it. I just think it's absolutely fascinating. It's the fascination advantage tool. So, you can look at this and you can see there's many different types here of archetypes. Archetypes are something really useful to look at and to understand yourself for your personal branding. So after the call, I can certainly share this link when we make the replay available if that's something you want to go and research a little bit more for yourself that you think might help you or your teams. Defining your personal brand, I would say it's pervasive. It's not just social media. Some of you are in companies where you are required to do face-to-face networking, to meet with the public, to be doing stands, shows, that type of thing. So think about your qualities, as we spoke about, the things that friends and family know you for. Think about your appearance. I've seen people who promote healthy lifestyle products, and I'm a bit cynical when it looks like the person doesn't use the products themselves or doesn't take the advice themselves seriously that I see coming from that community. So it's that thing about being congruent. If you're selling something that is supposed to be a high-end polished product at premium prices, you need to be presenting yourself as high-end, premium and polished. Look at your energy and what you bring when you walk into a room. The easy analogy that a lot of people use is, are we being radiators or are we being drained? And be a radiator. You can be a quiet radiator, but be a radiator. Look at your speech. Look at how you speak with people, your pace, how you come across. Do people get a sense that they can trust you, that they can open up to you quickly? And a lot of that is not so much just about speech, it's about your pauses and about your listening skills. Your posture, that is something that comes across. If there's pictures of you, your posture wants to be something that's fairly open and fairly confident. One thing I do notice is there are a lot of not great profile pictures on Facebook. If you're representing your brand, what I would encourage you to do, if a professional photographer is out of your reach, there are plenty of good high street places. Get your glad rags on, get down there, get a couple of good quality headshots done. with you smiling, not at an angle, not with the TV in the background or a pot plant. Make sure you get some good quality stuff done, because, it's not expensive to do. And in terms of your credibility, your brand, and how people associate you professionally, it will do wonders. And then have a think about what else you'd add to it. What makes you different? And don't be shy to put that into your business. So there's a really great tool here, the Johari window, and it may be something that you've come across through your training. This looks at the known area. The first area is that which we know about ourselves and that others know. But we then have area 2, the bits that we don't see about ourselves. And this is where we've got to ask friends, family, colleagues, there might be things about ourselves we might not realise that we might come across in a particularly harsh way sometimes if we're under pressure or something like that. And if we can bring that into awareness, we can be conscious of it and begin to work with it and use that to improve and open up who we are authentically. The other area is the stuff, and this is, I think, what Chelle was alluding to, is the hidden self. So the stuff that you know about yourself but that's unknown by others until you make that silly post. So really, have a think about that. Be honest, be open. We have all got things, we've all had silly things happen or whatever. I find the best way with things is to be open. It doesn't mean you have to tell people your life story, but you can choose what to disclose and how to disclose selectively and authentically. And sometimes, as Chelle said, sometimes these stories can actually help us. I had an experience this year where I was asked to talk about my personal story on a stage in Croydon to 300 women, which was a bit of a shock. And it's the first time I've gone into something that's personal and not business in that kind of forum. But actually, it was an incredibly empowering thing to do. So, judge your timing. You don't need to spill your guts. It's not Oprah. But look at self-disclosure and where it is appropriate, So if you are building your business because you have been through a difficult relationship or something like that, and now it's turning around and you're successful, share that with others. Be that beacon for them, But, do it in an authentic way, not in a way that's tacky. And then you've got self-discovery, which is the unknown area. And I choose to look at that as that is your area of unknown potential. Some of these things in 2 and 3 can be positive. It's not all negative stuff. So sometimes that's your zone of real potential and where you can push your limits to. So think about, what you want to be known for in your personal brand. One thing I'd encourage you to do is kind of a positive quality poster. So not quite vision boarding, but what are the positive qualities that you've got, and have something within your eye line in your working space that reminds you of this. Write a personal brand statement about you and your business based on those positive qualities and what you discover about yourself today. Perhaps if you go away and journal on this. Think about what you're expert in. Think about the originality that you bring to projects. And think about compliments. The 3 best compliments you've received in your whole life will possibly open up to you qualities and strengths that you overlook in yourself. And as Chelle said, we're our own worst critics. We're also the worst at recognising and praising ourselves. So think about what others see in you that you don't. So I would say think about, and we can maybe have some fun with this later if you want to post on the event thread, a 50-word message to introduce yourself to the group, which includes what you're great at and what you're passionate about. So think about your message, think about your clarity. If you can do that, you're going to attract the right clients into your teams or that want to buy your products, depending on your business model. But get really clear on who you are first and sell authentically. So I'd just like to leave you with some reflection of what you've learned from this evening that's been most valuable. Which part of our discussion you've enjoyed, what you've found challenging, and how can you use what you're discovering in your career development, your business development? And what 3 actions will you now take to develop your personal brand further? So thank you. And for those of you that would like to connect with Chelle, it's her contact details. So it's Facebook at Chelle Clarke and email address michelleclarke1985@live.co.uk. So, and Chelle, you also administrate the UK Mums Looking to Work from Home group?
I do, along with quite a few others, but that's one of the biggest ones. There's over 18,000 members, and I've just realised that my email address gives my age away.
Oh my God, you're so much younger than me.
I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
Oh God, I was born in the year of punk rock, so if any of you are a bit older, you'll probably guess from that. So
anyone's welcome to friend me. That link is my professional profile as such, or add me as a friend. Not a problem. I don't have issues with allowing people within my personal space, as we said. My living room is open. Just respect the rules.
Take your shoes off at the door.
I've got keys. Don't worry.
Okay, so I'm Laura Morrison. My business, where I specialise in sales training and mentoring, is the GameChanger Consultancy. I also run a community for women, the talented woman, tips for success. In my previous life in corporate, I ran a women's network, which had a few thousand members. For a major IT company, so when I stepped out it seemed like a natural progression, and that's a really open space, not for marketing and recruiting and promoting business, but just a really nice space to go and discuss kind of issues that are relevant to business and career women. And we take a very, very inclusive approach there. We have an international community which is growing, and absolutely love running that group. So yeah, my specialisms are sales mentoring and business growth and training for teams. So if you or your business would like any information on that, that's info@thegamechangerconsultancy.com, or as I say, I'm an open networker on Facebook. Do connect with me, and very happy to chat there as well. So what I will do is we have the recording, which will be sent to those who registered for the call. I'm conscious that there's a few that were unable to make it or that have had to drop off due to other commitments as we've progressed with the call. So I will just check questions. Do we have any questions? So we have nothing in chat and no questions. Oh, yes, we do. There we go. Okay. So let's have a quick look. I'll just see if I can expand that window. It's not going to let me expand it. So yeah, there's just some great comments on recommendations, compliance, and not taking risks with medical conditions. It seems everybody's on board on that. Some great feedback, and Chelle, you are rocking this. I think it's come from Maureen. Yeah, and reminding people that they can print a Facebook friends list. That's excellent advice. One thing that I'm not au fait with yet that I've just had recommended to me as well is something called HubSpot, which will pull up people's other social media accounts and connections and things like that. So that seems to be something that you might be able to integrate to help you build a more comprehensive database of contacts. So certainly worth exploring, and if we need to, I'll run a call on that when my colleague's completed her training on it. So yeah, just apologies that a couple of other people have had to leave because they've got other commitments which we knew. Thanks, Jen, for your comments about Jahari and Disc. Yeah, wonderful. So I'm really glad that people have found that useful. So yeah, we'll make the recording available and we will make sure that you have that. It'll probably be likely towards the end of the week because I'll need to give it a listen and do any quick edits that we need to do in the call. But hopefully you've all enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Chelle, for sharing your wisdom on today's call.
You're welcome. I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to all aim high, work hard, dream big, but most importantly, don't forget to believe in yourself. If you